Yes, it is the TV key. I replaced it. Unfortunately, it's not quite as hardy as the name with the script. So on a utilitarian purpose, it's useful, but that's not the main reason I like it, obviously. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. There it goes to everybody who's joining us. I'm sorry to be the broken record, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. To everybody who's joining us on our live stream. We begin, as we always do, in singing. And, we have a special melody for Elul. Elul is quickly, believe it or not, coming to a close, I'm sorry to say. But nevertheless, we have this special melody for Achat Sha'alti, which brings our hearts to the high holiday season. So we'll start with the nigun, the wordless melody, and then at the end we'll add the words to it. Here's how it goes. Please join if you know this one. Can add a little harmony. I know you're all noticing the strangeness of this space. Maybe even on the live stream you can see that we have a little bit of a donut shape in the middle right now. This is a shape in progress, preparing for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, of course, being a momentous time on the Jewish calendar for everybody because it's Slichot, this penitential meditative service before the high holidays begin. And for us, it's also an opportunity, of course, to consecrate this beautiful new space and make official the homecoming that our community is doing this fall, which is such a beautiful, wonderful thing to celebrate and something I think about every single time I'm in here. And probably every single time I'm in here for quite a while, I would believe, as many of us will as well. I begin with a poem about Shabbat from the poet Alden Solovey. And he writes, Shabbat is the place where time and space meet, without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come. Friends, as we enter this sacred space of Shabbat and the sacred place of our communal home, I invite us to greet one another, perhaps find somebody you haven't yet said Shabbat Shalom to, wish them a good Shabbos, find somebody you haven't yet seen. I know I'm down on the floor at the moment, but when we have some participation, I do invite you to come up on the bima for those of you who are participating in the service in various ways, like Bennett and Stu and Jody. So we'll light the Shabbat candles together. If you want to follow along with the words, we're on page 120 in your blue prayer book, 120. Go ahead. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlikneh Shel Shabbat. Thank you, Marlene and Jeff, and Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to those who came in recent moments, and Shabbat Shalom to those who have joined us on the live stream. We are glad you're with us, and we feel your presence, even though you are not here in person. And I hope you can join us in person tomorrow for our consecration. We'll enter Kabbalat Shabbat now, starting on page 130. 130. If you have one of the thin blue prayer books, you might see bracketed page numbers. Those are the ones to look for when I give the announcement of the page number, okay? If you don't have any brackets, don't worry about what I am saying. It doesn't matter. This one has some call and response, which we like to sing here. So anybody can learn. The words start with just ooh. If you know this one, please help me lead it. Here we go. Ooh, ooh, Adonai Nariya, Litzur Yishenu, Litzur Yishenu, Lechu Neranena, Adonai Nariya, Litzur Yishenu, Litzur Yishenu, Nikad Mafana, Betoda, Bizmiro Nariya Lo. Nekad mafanav v'toda v'zmiro narialo. Sounds great. Lechu neranena l'Adonai naria letzur yishenu letzur yishenu lechu neranena l'Adonai naria letzur yishenu Letzur Yishenu, Nekad Mafana Betoda, Mizmiro Nariyalo, Nekad Mafana Betoda, Mizmiro Nariyalo. Page 131. Sing to God a new song. To which the medieval commentator Radak says, make your song new. Even if it is old, sing it like it's a new song. That's what Shabbat is all about. Mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. We renew every day the work of creation, our excitement, our joy that the weekend is here. Let's sing it out. Here we go. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו בכל העמים, נפלאותיו וירא כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים, כי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים, ואדוני שמיים עשה הוד והדר לפניו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו. Second paragraph, we begin at the beginning. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל הצייר לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, לשפוט תבל בצדק ועמים מאמונתו. Put those hands together. Let's hear it. Yandai dai dai dai, yandai dai dai dai, dai 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 dai, yandai dai yandai dai, yai dai dai dai, yandai dai dai dai, yandai dai dai dai, yandai dai 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 dai, yandai dai dai dai, yandai dai 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 dai, yandai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yandai dai dai dai. Page 132. Or Zaru Alat Sadiq should be about halfway down the page, a little lower toward the end of the page. When the music stops, you clap. Remember this melody? We've been working on this over the last few weeks. So you hear one round of guitar, and then it ends, clap, clap. Like that? Okay, well, we need to review from time to time. That's okay. So here, let's try it together. Here it comes. 1, 2, 3. Clap, clap. Or Zarua, Lat Sadiq. ולשלב שמחה, אור זרוע לצדיק, ולשלב שמחה, אור זרוע לצדיק, ולשלב שמחה, ולשלב שמחה, אור זרוע לצדיק, ולשלב שמחה, ולשלב שמחה. Here's your other chance at the clap. You ready? Here we go. 2 more. Here's your last chance. Or Zarua Latzadik Uishrelev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Uishrelev Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Uishrelev Simcha. Yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, Yishrei lev simcha. Yishrei lev simcha. Ay, 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 Jody is going to help me lead Lecha Dodi. So I say symbolically, come up, O bride of stew. Would you like to sing at the microphone? Or maybe at this microphone, and we can stand next to each other. How does that sound? Sure. Okay. Page 138. It is our custom in TBT that during this mystical song, at the end, after we sing the first few verses, we will all rise together. We'll face the entrance and welcome, not Jody, who will be here already, but the presence of Shabbat, manifest in this symbol of a bride, which may or may not do anything for us because, God as metaphor is complicated and the metaphor is an old one. So if bride doesn't do it for you, then think about a good friend, a close friend, somebody whom you've been longing to reconnect with, who you haven't seen for so long, and imagine they were about to enter that door and come in, and wouldn't you just put a smile on your face and maybe transport you somewhere else, somewhere different? Maybe you're thinking of who that friend would be. That's the energy that the mystics chose when they made this metaphor real for God. Lecha Dodi. Page 138. Let's try this key. Is this okay for you? Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nikavela, Shamor v'Zachor Midiborecha. Lecha Dodi, Yala la 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 Likrat Kala, Yala la 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 Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat Nekavela. Verse 2, Likrat Shabbat. Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'nelcha. Mirosh mikedem nesuha sof masei b'machshava tchila yadadadada lecha dodi yadadadada likrat kala yadadadada b'nei shama Verse 3. Yikdash melech ir melucha umitzei mitoch v'hafecha rav lach shevet be'emek habacha והוא יחמור עלייכם יאללה לה 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 lecha dodi all together יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Verse 5, Hitoreri. 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 Hitorech Umiuri. Uri, Uri. Shira Beri. Allah Yichnigra. Yalla la 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 lichadoli. Yalla la 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 likrat kala. Please rise and we face the entrance. Boi v'shalom, boi v'shalom, ateret bala, besimcha u'vetzola, toch emuneh, am segula. La Oichala Yala la 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 lechadodi Yala la 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 likrat kala Yala la 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabel Yalla la 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 lichadodi Yalla la 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 likrat kala Shabbat nekabela. Thanks, Jody. Stay for one more. Stay for one more. I know you know this one. Page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon. Yeah, we can have a seat. It's okay. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Ni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yadadai, yadai, 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 yadai. It's a great privilege having almost half the choir near the front, from my point of view. Speaking of the choir, I've been getting to hear them, and hearing them rehearse is a treat. We are all in for something special this high holidays, which some familiar tunes and some new tunes and maybe a couple of surprises along the way. Speaking of surprises along the way, we interrupt our regularly scheduled Shabbat program for a special birthday blessing. A birthday boy. Bennett, would you like to come up and join us? Thanks, Ruby. That's nice. You can sing to him, too, in just a second. Ben and I were just taking a walk around here recently because we were talking about the Yom Kippur break fast, which I know you're very excited to resume after a few years of being the wandering Jews, so to speak. And that new kitchen hopefully should make things even easier for you.
It's going to be a challenge. Really good.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. And under your leadership, it'll be wonderful. And now you guys have been part of TBT for quite some years now.
Yeah, in excess of 45.
Wow, but who's counting?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but it's been a while.
So you were here in the old building, and then before the old building, and then before there was a building?
Oh, yeah.
So tell us a story about some of the first TBT services.
Well, I couldn't tell you too much about the services, but this piece of land was a chicken farm. And we went looking at land in Guilford and other places, but this was the right spot. And so we bought the chicken farm and took off from there.
It took off from there. They didn't fly the coop, though.
No, they fly the coop.
Well, we're very grateful for all of the leadership and dedication that you've shown to TBT over the years.
Thank you.
And is your lovely wife watching somewhere?
Yeah, my grandson was due to be there, so she didn't want to bring him.
Understood. Yeah. Well, we're thinking of her too, and we'll see you both so soon.
Yes.
At this milestone birthday, which I will not divulge which one, but you would not believe it if I told you which one. We wish you all of God's blessings and continued good health and joy within our community as we celebrate you.
Thank you.
So should we celebrate together. We give you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, praise. We thank you for your wisdom that you give to flesh and blood. Author of life, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life and for everything that enriches our lives. We turn to you now with special gratitude to share in the happiness of Bennett as he marks this milestone birthday. Be with him now, be with him always. May he be blessed with health and happiness, with the strength to overcome sickness and life's sorrows. And we honor you, Bennett, for the gifts that you give to this sacred community of Temple Beth Tikvah. We pray that each day will continue to bring you an abundance of blessing. And this part we can do together. Mi sheberach avotenu ve'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. And you can read the next part.
You have sustained me these many years and brought me to this place in life's journey. Let me look out with wisdom from the high ground of my many years of experience over the terrain of my life. Let me gaze out toward the past and the future with a heightened sense of your presence as my guide. Let me see that growth is not reserved for any one occasion, and that love and fulfillment are not the exclusive province of the young. As I celebrate reaching this moment, I'm grateful for the continuing unfolding of my life. I pray that kindness and compassion may be on my lips, that strength and courage may be with me in my comings and goings, and that I may continue to learn and to teach those dear to me. We praise you, God, who bless the years.
Baruch atah Adonai mevarech hashanim. Amen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bennett. Happy birthday to you. In Hebrew, please. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach.
Time to blow out the candles.
Don't blow out those candles. But we do ask for your patience as the next time you see a lot of TBT people up close and personal who are very interested to talk to you, might be when they're very hangry, okay? So be very careful.
Yes.
Which reminds me, if you haven't signed up for the Yom Kippur Break the Fast, this is a good reminder. All right.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll continue our service now with Ma'arif. We turn to page 148. No, sorry, 146. And please rise. Baruchu et Adonai Amevorach. Baruch Adonai Amevorach Leolam Va'ed. Page 148, we read together, Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch Ata Adonai Ama'ariv Aravim. Page 150. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amachavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shochbeinu u'vekumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratcha U'v'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nehege yomam v'layla Yomam v'layla Ve'ahavatech al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael. Page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Va'ed. Please have a seat. Page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam amezuzot beitecha u'v'isharecha le'ma'an tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim. Liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet. Volunteer, please, for a reading in English. Here's one way to understand what we just chanted, page 155. Volunteer to read in a strong voice. Jody volunteers. Stu volunteers. You want to split off every line, or would you like to stand so everybody can hear you?
In place, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act.
Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, when you are tired or you are rested.
Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision.
Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate.
They are reminders to do all things well.
I am Adonai your God.
I led you out of Egypt to become your God.
I am Adonai your God. That's perfect. We just constantly interrupt each other anyway.
Page 158, our freedom song, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha vayrim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Miriam. Zeli anu ve'ameru Adonai imloch ve'olam va'ed. Yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai dai yadadai dai 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 yadadai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Back to the topic of metaphors, the Amidah asks us to come before God kind of like peasants in the court of a king. That's how the rabbis understood it anyway. And so we have all of this ritual choreography, steps forward, steps back, displays of deference, bowing. And the humility in the bow is something that I find compelling. The image of God as king and me as lowly serf, I find to be less compelling. It comes out of a world where that was a relatable image of the majesty of some great beyond. That may or may not be our metaphor. It's an opportunity now for us to have a conversation with God. But I believe that that conversation is stifled to some degree for the modern person by that particular metaphor. I think this is actually something that Rav Zalman speaks about to some degree in that book, and I, as you know, Stu, I am a big fan of him. And so I didn't bring the reading, maybe I'll read it over the high holidays, but one of the readings that I love reimagines this discussion and relationship from a peasant to a king to like your uncle who's coming over for Shabbos, and you roll up your sleeves and share schnapps together. And for that matter, we might as well say your aunt, because God has no gender. God is beyond gender and inclusive of every gender. And so this is an opportunity to pursue a conversation with somebody who really wants to listen. And you probably, I hope, are lucky in your life that you can talk to different people who will really want to listen. But even for those people, there are probably things that you don't always feel comfortable saying, or that you don't want to lay at their feet in any given moment. And so this is an opportunity to share something of need and of import, and not to let it go by, because it's so easy for the prayer just to slip by in a moment of silence or inattention. I know that happens to me more often than I would like. So I'll invite us to think about what that prayer really will be, what that something to say will utter from our lips. I invite us to rise, turn to page 164, 164. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 168. Atagi bor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atarav le'oshia, morid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, umikayei memunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al givurot, umido melach, melech meimit, umechayei, umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai mechayei hakol. Ata kadosh u'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom yihallelu chasela. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We continue with the words through page 180 and also with the words of our heart. And feel free to take your time for silent prayer, and then we'll be seated. Osei shalom bimromav, U'ya'aseh shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, U'ya'aseh shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Well, we take an opportunity when we are together with community to think especially of those who can't be here because they are not well, and those who perhaps are here and are struggling with some sort of an illness or challenge in their lives, because we all carry something. And it really does make a difference to share our prayers with those who are in need of healing or strength or fortitude, caring for others in their lives. So we'll say Misha Berach prayer. I see Marlene, thank you Marlene, passing around the words to the prayer for anybody else who needs. For those in our community, we pray tonight for April D'Amato, Norma Diamond, Josh Lipschitz, Mark Warner, Larry Pepper, Alan Myers, Joan Shapiro Green, Bonnie Stoddard, Judy Selikoff, and Myra Josephson. And also for our loved ones, Connie Ambrosino, John Bain, Mickey Bart, Jay Fliss, Michelle Rusinko, Zeke Pereira, Joanne Crusulo, Mark Ostreicher, Sydney Scher, Matthew Pincus, Bart Young, Soraya Casey, John Van Steenbergen, Paul Frisman, Bruce Petroff, Tim Maurer, Elaine Gurman, Ben Peck, Marion Macon, Martha and Mark Potter, Jarvis Crumbine, Lou Antolioli, Laura Francos, Ira Weiss, Mark Warner, Deanna Rosenberg-Garabo, Steve Siafa, and Drew Garabo. If there are others who we should add to our prayers tonight, feel free to share their name aloud or keep them in your heart. Either way is fine. For healing tonight, friends?
Sandy Greenberg,
Sandy Greenberg,
Susan Robb,
Susan Robb,
and Bill Pellerin.
Bill Pellerin, and Nancy. We hope you feel better too. Others, friends, for healing. We hold our loved ones in our hearts as we join our voices together. Misha Beirach. Misha Beirach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi shebeirach imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Mi shebeirach avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. It's always a special gift to the community and also to the rabbi when somebody who is not me speaks. So luckily it's not just any somebody, but it's Oi.
Sorry.
We're going to have to add to our vidui tomorrow. Stu and Jody, like many other people in our community, are at a certain transitional time in their family life. And having just said lehitraot to Ellie going off to school, now have an empty nest. And I know there are those in this room who can certainly identify with that stage. Some of us are at the other end of that stage, but as I was saying, Levi going to daycare definitely elicited, I think, similar emotions in different ends of that process. So Stu's going to share a few words of Torah that's grounded in this week's Parsha and his experience. Stu, please. Yeah, please do. And you can use this too if you like.
I never met a microphone I didn't like. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So as the rabbi said, this came to me in our Torah study, and I just thought the parallels were timely. This week we read the double portion Nitzavim and Vayelech, truly a Deuteronomical barn burner, if there ever was one. Indeed, I am humbled to even try to plumb the depths of these words. Nitzavim, literally standing, and Vayelech, he went. We are perched at this liminal moment in our history. The people about to become a nation standing before Moses, who tells them he will not be joining them. They must manage by themselves under their own free will to either follow God's laws or reject them. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day. I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life, that you and your offspring may live. Surely there are no higher stakes than this. Of course, the Torah being what it is, Moses' admonishments to the people go on forever. We are taught at Torah study that there are no wasted words in the Torah. Repetition in the Torah is purposeful, to really emphasize what is important. But in fact, how many different ways have we already heard this in Devarim, that if the people follow God's commandments, they will be blessed with riches and prosperity, enemies will be vanquished, and the world will be their oyster. Well, not literally, because oysters are treif. And actually, public service announcement, there's a Vibrio infection, so do not eat oysters. But if they don't follow, I switched hats there for a second. But if the people don't follow God's commandments, they will suffer, crops will die, enemies will make them slaves, and they will be carried away from their land. I have studied these speeches every year at Torah study, and it has forever struck me as overkill. Repetition is one thing, but this is a broken record. The remnants of my adolescent brain do an imaginary eye roll. Yes, Moses, I hear you. But then this year came. This year, I am not the Israelites in the crowd. I am not the person with the choice to follow God's commandments or reject them. This year, I am Moses. I am the one standing on Mount Pisgah, watching my kid, watching my baby, the piece of my heart that lives outside my body, go on to a place where I cannot follow. Connecticut College. But be it Connecticut College, Cornell, Northeastern, Lehigh, or University of Wisconsin, these may not be the promised land, but they very well may be. Lands flowing with milk and honey, solo cups full of beer, and God knows what else, and unlimited swipes in the cafeteria. Moses warns the people that they may be lured into the worship of other gods. How many new and strange things will our children confront? People with unusual customs and different ideas, and values that may not only conflict with the ones that we have tried to instill, or worse yet, opinions and beliefs that don't just question our way of life, but overtly reject and threaten them. Or even if I am not so dramatic, will they still hold the values that are so important to us, or will they find other gods to worship? Money, social status, acquisitionism. How can we guarantee that our children will choose life, that they may live? I once wrote in a poem, the very first act of love is separation. We start our lives being forcibly cleaved from the womb. The only future we can have is separate from our parents. The free ability to choose life or reject it is the ultimate act of love that God bestows upon us, that we bestow upon our children. But it surely hurts. This year, for the first time, I hear in Moses' admonishments not threats, but pleadings, not scare tactics, but the desperate cry of a loving parent about to say goodbye to his children that he has carried for so long. Ironically, Jody and I said goodbye to Ellie on a lovely little strip of campus called Temple Green. Coincidence? I worry. Will she be more moved by Rabbi Susan at the Conn College Hillel or the anti-Israel, anti-Jewish voices of the BDS movements sweeping across campuses today? Will she choose to participate in the healing of the world or in the breaking of it? Did I do enough in my speech or my actions? What words can I impart? What lessons can I share that will guarantee that she will choose life? Has that ship already sailed? Of course, though, I know there are no other words to impart at this point. To some extent, that ship has already sailed. But as the parents who have come before me have already learned, and in fact, what I have already tried to learn, having done this once before, our children will choose life. But they will choose their life. It won't be our life. Some will marry outside our faith. Some will outright reject our faith. And some will get tattoos of shrimp on their thighs. Which leads me to another question. Can you be buried in a Jewish cemetery with a shrimp tattoo? I comfort myself that I have an advantage over Moses. While I cannot enter the promised land, I do at least have cell service that allows me some access. I can be here, available when needed, to admonish, to plead, to extol the virtues of a life lived Jewishly, with a commitment to tikkun hanefesh and tikkun olam, to choose a life of meaning. I can only hope that the words that I have spoken and the life that I have led is enough. Shabbat shalom. I'm not answering that.
You, Stu, I have already alerted the other families whom you alluded to tacitly by acknowledging the school choices of your words, and they will be receiving a copy. And And the copy will come with a few tissues as well. So thank you. Beautiful as always. Learned and sensitive and gentle as always. Our beloved Stu. Thank you, Stu. I invite everybody to please rise at the conclusion of our service. We praise at Aleinu L'Shabeach, page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu koreim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 588. Shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz umoshev yikaro b'shamayim imal ushchinatu zo begovei meromim hu Eloheinu einod Emed malkeinu evezulato, kakatuv betorato, viadata yom, vashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim, bashamayim imal, ve'al haaretz, mitachat einod. Page 591. Ve'ne'emar ve'aya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo echad. You can all be seated. Sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
I see you very excited to go, so please.
Very excited. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A warm welcome to all guests here tonight. My name is Marlene Schwartz, and I am a member at large on the board of directors. Please join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Zoom for Torah study with Ira Wise. The link is in your inbox. And tomorrow is the day we will consecrate our new sanctuary and welcome the Torah scrolls back into the Ark at Slichot. See you here, right here, at 7 p.m. After the holidays, please save the dates of November 3rd and 4th for a community Shabbat service of gratitude and a Saturday night gala. Bring your dancing shoes. This year, we are holding our Beaverbrook Cemetery service this coming Sunday, September 10th at 2:30 p.m., and that will be rain or shine. Havarim, our men's club, will be hosting its annual tailgate on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. in the lower parking lot. Wear the colors of your choice and bring your favorite tailgating food. It is also the first day of religious school, which also starts at 9:30 a.m. in the sanctuary for all children and their parents. On October 22nd, Kulano, together with the ADL, is hosting Dare to Lead Brave Conversations. This interactive workshop is about confronting anti-Semitism and is limited to 50 adults, first come, first serve. Please call Lydia in the office to sign up. Again, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, sure. And we will also be starting a program called Kesher, which are a number of small groups that congregants can sign up for to participate in different types of activities once a month during sort of from October through the spring. And it's on our website. You can read about the different groups that are available, and you can go ahead and sign up for one of them if you're interested. Thank you.
We pause now in a space of reflection here at the end of the service as we think of all those whom we have loved and lost, whose presence has departed this world bodily, but whose presence lingers with us in our hearts. And I do invite you, if you're observing Yartzeit tonight, please rise as I say the name of your loved one and stay standing. We begin with those in the period of Shiva and Shaloshim, including Susan Jacobson, former TBT member and religious school teacher, Jordan J. Lustig, father of Susan Lustig and grandfather of Melanie Siekel, and Harold Redlick, father of Norman and Karen Redlick. Thinking of those who passed away at this season in years gone by, we remember Thelma Bowler, Lois Harrison, Dorothy Preminger, Betty Shambroom, Anna Goldstone, Esther Weiss, Lillian Criven, Richard M. Stern, Bennett Epstein, Hyman Friedman, Muriel Vender, Arlene Goldberg, Ida Widlitz, Minnie Gessner, Nicholas Avalone, Benjamin B. Levine, and Berta Menkes. Invite us all to please rise together with our mourners among us. Please, are you saying Kaddish tonight?
Yes, can I just,
Please.
Salvatore Carano and Teresa.
Salvatore Carano and Teresa Ambrosino. Please, let's rise together as one community. Friends, page 598, we recite the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam le'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei d'kudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of peace bring peace into the hearts of all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav u'yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imeru. Amen. We can have a seat one last time. We will sing a closing song and then go straight behind to our beautifully decked out social hall to have a little kiddush together. Our closing song is on page 662. It's the same one we started with, but this time we're adding the words. There's a psalm for basically every human emotion. That's where I started my class this last year. Were any of you in my Psalms class? I think, yeah, Susie took my Psalms class. But there's a psalm for basically every human emotion and experience, and this one is just the deepest longing to feel that sense of spiritual connection, that sense of godliness, that we want to be with God and feel what it's like to inhabit God's temple. So what could be a more fitting idea to be back in that bite, in that house, as we are preparing for our own homecoming this season. Achat sha'alti, top of the page. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh. Shifti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai. Lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker beheichalo. לחזות בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אותה אבקש. שבתי בבית אדוני כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. לחזות בנועם אדוני, ולבקר בהיכלו. Please rise, everybody.